Hello everyone, welcome to my Minecraft tour of me and my friend's zoo. As you can see, it's quite massive and I don't think screenshots would be enough to really show it off fully. First things first, before I mention anything, if you find this video randomly online, don't expect it to be edited well. This is my first ever YouTube video and also my first ever try at Minecraft recording, so it might be choppy, the editing might be sloppy, but it really shouldn't be that important. Now, right here is the entrance to the zoo. We have a giant armadillo statue on top with the zoo sign in there. Then we have the main area itself, known as Orph City. Orph City is like the hub of the zoo. It's the central location and also one of the districts in the zoo, as you can see on the map. Orph City is symbolized by yellow banners. All of the exhibits, which are marked with yellow banners, represent Orph City exhibits, and I'm gonna go over them as well as some details of the zoo while talking about the work process and how much me and my friend Gab put into this project. So first things first, we have over here the horses, donkeys, and mules exhibit. The horses, donkeys, mules, they tend to escape their confines, so we have decided just to tie them with a leash to a fence. I don't know if it's the best choice, but it's what we have. It's located in the middle of a field of wheat, as you can see, with a giant windmill, which also acts as the inside area of the exhibit. We also have information books about all of the mobs. This is Gab's magnum opus. It's probably the most difficult part right after building when it comes to creating a zoo. And it's purely decorational. Most people will just skip over it, but I like reading them. Then moving on, we have a small little carrot field with the bunny exhibit. As you can see, it's a small little patch. Nothing too special. I'm mostly here because we couldn't add it into the petting zoo area, which is this one right here. We have sheep, we have cows, we have chickens, and we have also pigs. This is a giant area where you can walk around, you can interact with the mobs, and you can just enjoy your time in the zoo. We have a small little pond right here. We have some mud, we have dirt, paths all around. We have this giant stable which I've built, and over here is the nursery for the animals that are inside of the petting zoo. So we have our rare specimen being studied right here. That's a pink sheep. It's not naturally occurring though, so don't worry about that. We have a small computer right there for your googling needs, I guess. And up here is the off-limits area, which is the mushroom exhibit. It's a small little cave, home to a giant mushroom as well as some other mushrooms, which houses a brown and 2 red mushrooms. Here is a book if any of you want to read it. It's all made up for the mushrooms, at least, since realistically they don't exist. So moving on, we go back down into the petting zoo area, and we passed through the gate building, which houses both the underground bunny nursery as well as a staircase to up above, which holds the information books on all the passive mobs in the petting zoo, so that's cool. Jumping back down, we pass through the villager exhibit, or the shopping district, with small fish shops, meat shops, and also a wheat shop, which seems to have been vandalized, the sign. I'm gonna fix that later on. Moving past here, we go over here, and we have the blacksmith house. Not really that important, but still something to note. We did use a mace as decor. Also, the inside of this house has been done by Gab as well. Shout out to Gab. Then we have the HQ building. The HQ building is this giant Indian-inspired building, and as you go inside of it, you can see another map of the zoo right there. This is a work in progress. This will be used later on as the exit to the underground area, which we will be slowly starting to work on soon-ish. No guarantees. As you can see, the main building is still empty, so we're gonna have to work on that as well, but everything comes in its own time. Down here is where we used to house all the mobs without an exhibit, and we still do. We have 2 sniffers as well as phantoms and skeleton horses. We're gonna slowly be moving them to the underground once we start work on that, so one day this will finally be finished. So we go back over here, and we have another gate. This gate leads downwards, down into the dog exhibit area, which is like a small park and houses 4 variants of dogs. As you can see, we're quite creative with the names here. We have Dream, Dr. Disrespect, Diddy, and Drake. Don't ask about the meanings. Moving on, we have the strange house, as well as the main focal point, the post office, which is like the main building of Horror City, where we have the parrot exhibit. As you can see, all variants of the parrots are housed here. They tend to stick to this carpet though. They might like it more than anything else, I wouldn't know. We also have the cat exhibit with 3 variants of cats, as well as a little fish in their tank. It seems Chimney, the black one, is enjoying watching the fish swim. We also have a librarian villager, which is pretty cool. And moving on, we have the abyss drop. This right here will be our next area of the zoo once we return to building it. But for right now, we only have the platform as well as the water column down to the abyss. So yeah, going up, we look at our fox exhibit right up here. Right next to the lumberjack house, we have the red fox exhibit. I did this. I don't think Gab helped out with this exhibit, sadly, but it's okay. Everyone works on their own terms. As you can see, they're enjoying some berries, while the lumberjack house doesn't have a villager occupant, sadly, since there's no lumberjack profession somehow. Moving on, we have the next area, the Sun's Canyons, which are basically the desert area. We have this small little like restaurant where you can buy food from our dear friend Giros, the vendor of this place, and the restaurant is right next to the armadillo exhibit. Seems we can't find. Oh, there they are right there. They're enjoying their time, so I won't bother them. There's 3 of them. Oh, there's the 3rd one. And then there is the camel exhibit. The camel exhibit is a big piece of land which is half red sand and half desert with a small oasis in the middle. Gab helped out make this tree, so shout out to Gab again. And then we have the dog exhibit, the 2nd dog exhibit. As you see, there's 3 in total. This one is for the painted dog and the hyena. So yeah, that's a small part of it, located in the deserty cliffs area. There's a dog nursery right there. And you can go up to this viewing platform right here, which gives you a view of the rest of the dog exhibit, with a small little shack right there for them to lay down, a lake and a river that goes through the exhibit, as well as a giant acacia tree that I made. The dogs seem to be having fun, so I wouldn't want to bother them. They're all untamed, by the way, so they don't teleport out of the exhibit, but it also causes an issue where players can come in and tame them, and yeah, that will cause a major problem for us down the line. So we're hoping that doesn't happen really. Next up is the uplands, which is the witch area, as well as the pillage area right there. But firstly, we have this witch location with willow trees, as well as a witch hut that I stole off of Pinterest, so shout out. We have this nice little mountain backside for the witch area, and some trees that Gab built, and also a little lake right here. Nothing too special, nothing to boast about. Then we have the pillager outpost, or as I like to call them, the ruins. This is the Vindicator exhibit. As you can see, they're hoarding a lot of gold, and they have this tent set up. I like how it turned out, so I also used it on the wild wolf exhibit in the desert area. Then we have the pillagers themselves with a shooting range, so they can shoot at these target blocks. There's one tamed one and two untamed pillagers right there, as well as a Ravager who has his own little hut, his own little haystack, and his own little carpet to lay down on. There are information books right here on all of them, as you can see. And finally, in this region, there is the church, which houses our dear friend the Evoker. He is like the captain of them, so he lives in a church. He's also the preacher. He has his little table. Luckily, he can't spot me through the glass, so he can't summon vexes or make the other mobs aggro at me, which is a blessing in disguise, really. Going back through the uplands, you leave through this wooden wall right here, which kind of just acts as the barrier between Orph City and the uplands. There's lore reasons. We made a lot of lore about this region, but I'm not here to talk about that. Moving on, we'll have to pass way back here through the wheat farm area, and we go into the Rapid Waters district. This district was an old one, and we made it in like a week, I believe, so it was the fastest one we made. Here is the pufferfish, turtle, and tropical fish exhibit. As you can see, they have a big area to swim around in and enjoy their time. And yeah, you can also view it from up above, where the turtles like to lay down on the soft sand and under the palm tree I built. Then we have the basically cod, salmon, and squid exhibit right here, a river inspired building, so you can see some plant life here. You can see a bit of a tree branch right there, probably got stuck in it. Maybe it's roots, not really something to put too much thought in. It just looked cool. Again, the books are filled with info about the species. If you ever come online, you can read that. Then going over here, we have the dolphin exhibit, probably the saddest exhibit of them all. Dolphins, they basically, their AI gives up if they're unloaded, and to survive they both need air and water, so we had to put him in this little pond right here. Duke II is forced to eternally stay in this pond. He's unable to jump, he's unable to do anything. He's basically in a vegetable-like state right now, and we're kind of keeping him alive like this, so yeah. Over here is the frog exhibit. We have all three variants of the frog, a white one right there, Green one seems to be hot. No, there he is. And orange one right there. This one is probably one of my favorite exhibits, simply because it's so unique, but also really basic. Like, it's simple to build and it looks really good. The colors match really well right here. Then we have probably my favorite exhibit in the zoo, the Guardian exhibit. One of the only, I think the only one of all of the mobs that is aggressive towards the player that we're currently housing. We have a book right here, all made up facts about it. Thank you for Gab for writing that. And you go down into this tunnel, you have the conduit close by so you can breathe, and you can see these ruins, like a ruin of an ancient civilization with the guardians remaining there patrolling it. Really cool. Shout out to me, I guess, because I designed this one. Yeah. Up next we have some stairs up into the Ice Cry district, with the first exhibit you see being goats. This exhibit I'm proud of. It turned out really nicely. I like the colors of it. And since goats can jump up like 9 blocks, we had to put a glass roof on top, which is really funny, but it's nothing really to write home about. Then we have the llama exhibit right here. The llamas, it took us a while to get the colors of llamas we wanted, since the brown one right there didn't want to spawn at all. So yeah, it was quite the chore to build it. Right here is the polar bear exhibit, which you can see either from these windows or the viewing area. They have a few fish swimming about, but nothing really to write home about for this exhibit. It's just under this massive cliff me and my friend did. So yeah, it took us a while to build all of this. Here is a little lake which goes into the frog exhibit, which is kind of a plus. I like how it turned out. It's a frozen lake. We have a little snowman right here made from armor stands. We also have a few trees around. And this is the wolf exhibit. This is the final one. There's 3 of them in total, as I said. Right here we have the basic standard wolf, the snowy version, and the gray wolf version. I don't know how they're called. That's just how I refer to them. And you can also go inside right here into the cavern. The cavern is just where they like to hang out. It's kind of just something to chill back. As you can see, we also have a cafe in the cavern right next to a frozen skeleton right there, with some visitors pointing at it and laughing. So yeah, the cafe I've designed, and our dear snow golem runs it. So yeah, really a nice place. Again, made up facts about it as per usual. Thank you, Gab, for making that. And we move on outside of it to go up here, which there's 2 water columns which shoot you up into the viewing platform, from which you can see the entire zoo, like from over here. I find this really cool and something to come back to and visit every now and then, just to get more ideas on how to build it. Outside right there are the living quarters of the server players. So yeah, I'm not gonna show that though. That's not important for this tour. Going down and outside of the cave, Jesus, we have the snow fox. So this is a second fox area. They tend to roam around down here, but they also have this frozen bridge, like, and under it there's a cave, so they can go up and over here. This is the second snow fox area. Quite cozy. Here's a book about them if anyone wants to read. Oh yeah, we also mentioned all their names and ages in here. That's cool. And finally, we have the Jungle's Edge district. This was the first district we did and the smallest one realistically. We have our little vendor Dylan right here selling golden apples, potatoes, and carrots. Also an information book about his species of wolf. Then we have the pandas with Poe right here. He has a nice life here in the Zen garden area. So yeah, and we have the bees in this cave, which you can only see from this location. As you can see, they like to fly around up there. Those holes in the walls are basically for sunlight to get in, since it's the easiest way to light up this place, kinda. Over here is the ocelot exhibit. This is the first exhibit we did, and it's still one of my favorites. I love how it turned out with the watery feeling, as well as the trees, which have aged poorly as I've learned to build them better, but still hold up, I think. They also have a small little cavern right here. Sadly, the ocelots are leashed down since they tended to die mysteriously, and we never figured out how. There was 3 at the beginning, but one always had to die, so we just leashed them down. So yeah, that concludes my tour for this zoo building project. It took us about like half a year or something, and we don't show sorry, we don't show any signs of stopping. We're soon going to be starting our work on the underground area with all the mobs that attack the players, like zombies, skeletons, creepers, breezes, and every mob in between, like silverfish. We sadly won't be able to house mobs like the ender dragon and the wither, but I think we're gonna find a way to represent them as well, same as the piglins and the piglin brutes, as well as the hoglins. But that is a problem for future me. Right now I'm happy with how the zoo is turning out, and I'd like to show you it once it's finished in like half a year or something. So thank you for watching, thank you for tuning in, and thank you for listening as I rambled on about my project. I had a great time, and I hope I see you again.